Hey guys, Punisher88 here, coming to you live from work as usual. Well, it's Saturday, and that means it's time for the weekend review. I know I didn't get a chance to post any options on the Punisher88 Facebook page, and I apologize. The reason why was I ended up leaving my laptop here at work, and through my laptop is the only way I could post an option to give you guys a chance to vote on. I can't do it on my phone. So basically what I did was before coming to work tonight, um, I just picked a book at random and went with it like that. The book I picked is a pretty special book, not because it's an origin story or a #1 issue or a first appearance, not nothing like that. It's a special story based on what the story is about. Um, the writer who wrote it actually won an award for the story because it deals with such a big issue, and it's been a book I've been wanting to both read and review for you guys for a while, and finally I get to review it tonight. I'm pretty happy about it. Um, what else? It has been a book for a long time I was trying to find, and for the longest time I was always looking around in different shops to see if they had it. Also looking at flea markets and stuff, and I was never able to find it. And finally, one time while rummaging around at Comic Hunter, there was one copy left, and so that's why I picked it up. And I was really excited to check it out because after reading about it online, seeing that it's such a uh, famous book, um, just because of its content, I wanted to have it for my collection. So uh, now it's part of my collection. So I'll get into what book it is and everything in a bit, but first, let's crack open a monster and roll that intro music, shall we? Hey guys, welcome back. So, as I said in my intro, let's crack open a monster. And let's get to this review, shall we? Well, now I'm sure by now a lot of you guys are going, come on, tell us what the hell the book is you're reviewing. So I will. So, like Spider-Man last week, this character is making its first appearance on the weekend review. The book that I'm reviewing for you guys today is The Incredible Hulk, issue 420. And I want to start off by saying no, it's not about stoners or hippies, because I know at least one or two of you out there are probably making that joke right now. So that's why I reference that. But actually, it's about something totally different. The reason why I say this is such a special story is because it has to deal with a friend of the Hulk's who's dying from AIDS. And this is the first comic I've ever read um, that deals with that issue. And I think this book is so popular because I think this is the first Marvel book to actually deal with an AIDS issue. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But that's why it's such a famous book. And it's a touching story. Um, Now, like all my reviews, I like to start with the cover. And once again, yes, I like this cover, but I also like the impact this cover has. As you can see, uh, it's pretty much just all black, and it looks like a spotlight is on the Hulk and his buddy in his hospital bed. And I think it's a pretty strong image. Um, the story is actually very, very good. excuse me. Basically, what happens is the character who's dying from AIDS, his name is Jim Wilson, and the book starts off with him being at like an AIDS rally, and while at this rally, there's a group of protesters show up, and some of them kind of let loose and put the boots to Jim, and the Hulk finally shows up to save him, and he brings him to this island hospital type of deal. They call it the Mount, that the Hulk built, and it's special for like research and everything. So he brings Jim there, and while Jim is there, he's talking to the Hulk, and he asks him for a blood transfusion. And right away, the Hulk, he's kind of surprised that Jim would ask him that, because the last person the Hulk gave a blood transfusion to was Jennifer Walters, and we all know what happened to her after receiving the blood from Bruce Banner. She became the She-Hulk, and after that, Bruce Banner or Hulk, whatever, was like, no, no more, never again. I don't want that to happen to anyone else. And he explains that to Jimmy. He's like, there's too many consequences that could happen if I do a blood transfusion with you. For all we know, if you start sharing my blood, you could turn into a gamma monster or whatever. And Jim gets pretty upset about it, and he keeps pushing and pushing and pushing till finally it looks like the Hulk agrees to it. So they go through with a blood transfusion, and we find out that it's not the Hulk's blood. And there's a scene where um, the Hulk is in the room with them and everything, and Jim asks the Hulk if he could step out and he could talk to the nurse for a bit. And we find out that Jim knows that the Hulk didn't go through with the transfusion, and basically he lets the nurse know that he knows that the Hulk wants him to be comfy and die in peace and everything, and he appreciates it and everything. And then finally, in the next scene, when the Hulk comes back, we see Jim. He's talking with the Hulk, and finally he passes away. And the next panel, you see the Hulk just standing there, and he's staring at an empty bed. And for one little square panel of the Hulk looking at an empty bed, that's some pretty touching stuff right there. And so after Jim passes away, um, the Hulk is pretty upset, and he's thinking, the Hulk's thinking about his friend and everything, and he starts thinking of maybe he didn't do the right thing, maybe he should have went through with the whole blood transfusion, maybe it would have worked, and he's thinking now of how it's too late now and everything, and he kind of like storms off. So, and then after that, it leads to another part of the book, or another character, well, the Hulk's wife, Betty Ross, and we see she's working at like a like a suicide hotline type of deal, help phone dealio, and she keeps getting a phone call from from this guy. I believe his name's Clint or whatever, and he tells Betty how he's HIV positive and everything, and how you know he was always good shape. He was like the high school quarterback and everything, and then all of a sudden, how does he come in contact with he gets it or whatever, you know. And he's all confused and he's all like, you know, he hates God and all this stuff, and he tells you, you know, he's contemplating suicide and all that. And Betty Ross is like, she's determined that she wants to help this guy kick the whole suicide thing. So that's why she's always, you know, by the phone waiting for him to call and everything. And at one point she tells him, she's like, for a guy who's thinking of committing suicide, you seem to be taking your time, or you would have done it already and everything. And he basically tells her that he likes listening to her voice, that's why he keeps calling. And then finally, the last time he calls Betty, he's talking with her, he's saying how he feels sorry for himself and everything. And while that's going on, Betty is trying harder and harder to convince him to not go through with it. And the next scene, after we actually see the guy talking to her, we find out that he's in his car and he's parked it on a set of train tracks. And as Betty's trying to convince him not to commit suicide, all of a sudden in the background she hears a train coming, and she starts getting more and more frantic. She's trying to convince him, and the very last scene, you see Clint sitting there, and he's just like, wow, that train is moving really fast. You see his eyes get really big, and then all of a sudden just black. And that's the end. That's the end of the book. So not only does it deal with a character passing away from AIDS, it also deals with a character committing suicide over it. And when you put those two things together, it's a really strong deal, you know. So how the whole chain of events played together in this book, I thought it was very good. So yeah, all in all, really love this story. So that's the end of the review. And again, I apologize how I'm never able to really finish what I have to say. I just end up just chopping it and going, okay, that's the end of my review. I'm sorry I do it like that. I'm, you know, still getting my chops for this stuff, you know, so I'm working on it. Don't worry, don't worry. So, um, points on the book. Like I said when I covered when I mentioned the cover, really liked it. I like how it sends a strong image of, you know, what you're about to read just from the cover. Um, the story itself, so good, both on dealing with, you know, Hulk's friend who's passing away, and also with the character who finds out he has AIDS, and it shows the strong effect it has on a person when they're going through it and everything, you know, knowing that they have this, you know, disease or whatever that there's like no cure for, and it really plays a toll on your life, you know, on your mind too. So how they play both of those angles, you know, very good. Um, I like how they also picked the Hulk as the character for this book. Here they pick a character, you know, who's known for his incredible amounts of rage and anger and all this, and they picked him for such a heartfelt, or, you know, heart-wrenching situation. And we get, you know, after Jim dies, we see the effect it takes on the Hulk, and how he's upset and he's sad and everything. And it's really neat how they picked him over, let's say, you know, Spider-Man, or you know, any, you know, Captain America or something, you know. So I really liked how they did that. Um, Bad parts? No, there are no bad parts in this book, to me anyway. I find this was a good book from starting cover right to the end. So, um, as for being able to find this book, um, I'd suggest if you guys are going to try and find it, again, you know, if you guys out there are into the whole digital comic thing, try looking on Marvel.com. Maybe you can find a digital issue of this book. To actually get the physical copy like I have, um, for those of you who are in Montreal, I suggest go to Comic Hunter and look around. Maybe from the time I got this to now, maybe he's gotten a couple more copies of it, or while he's gone to different cons and stuff. Um, if or for the ones who aren't in Montreal, if any of your local stores sell both current issues and if they have a good selection of back issue stuff, check around or just ask ask the dealer at the store if it's possible to order it or something. Although more likely it'd be tough to order, so I'd suggest probably bargain bin hunting or flea markets too. You never know what you'll find at a flea market when it comes to comics. I found some pretty cool stuff, trust me. Um, do I recommend this story? If you want a touching story, yeah, I suggest even if you're not into the you know heavy topic of the whole AIDS thing or whatever, it's a good story to read, and it's a cool book to have in your collection too. So yeah, I'd suggest if you guys could either find it, both the physical or digital copy, give it a read because it's pretty darn good. Um, so with that being said, I hope you guys have stuck around for the 14 minutes and some odd seconds now. Um, let's see. If you guys like this video, take a look at some of my other stuff I have on my channel. I I usually post every Thursday and Saturday a video. Thursday being a review of a current comic, Saturday being a review of a back issue, and in between those, usually around the end of every month, I post a video for when I get my loot crate. So I do my unboxing video, which I mention is my promise to my viewers, as well as every now and then I'll throw up a random video of whatever I feel like recording. So if you guys are into that kind of stuff, well, hey, take a look around my channel. And if you like the videos, well, like, comment, share. If you really like them, hey, subscribe if you like. I'm not forcing you to. Um, if you guys really dig Epic Mealtime, I suggest you check out my video from this year's Comic Con. I did a little chill video with them, and it was pretty neat. They're a cool bunch of guys. So, and also to the ones in Montreal, if you guys are into comic slash toy collecting, I believe this Sunday, the 16th, in Ville Saint Laurent, more out towards the airport at I believe the Marriott Hotel. There's a little like a mini Comic Con type of thing going on. It's a Toycon or something it's called, and it's a little convention. There's going to be toy vendors and there's going to be comic vendors too. So I'm going to be there, and what I'll do is I'll post a link in the description. If you guys want to check it out, cool. Admission's really cheap. It's only $5 to get in. So if that piques your interest, hey, go check it out. But like I said, I'll post a link in the description below so you guys can go check it out for yourself. So, to end this review, even though I did it on a Marvel comic, I leave you with a quote from Batman himself. And he said, "It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me." Let that sink in for a bit. It's pretty cool coming from Batman. It actually doesn't sound brutish and everything. So anyway, I thought it was cool. I hope you guys liked it. And again, I hope you guys like this video. And maybe I'll do a video at the little mini Toycon. Maybe I'll do a video if I get a good haul from there. And if not, well, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Alright? Laters.